What is up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the certifiably suave Dr. Disaster, and there are a few reasons that I am not interested in the upcoming Insomniac Wolverine game. The fact that one of their developers openly mocked the death of Charlie Kirk while the studio to this day remains completely quiet about it is utterly contemptible.
Phew! It is awful! It is disgusting!
But if you dig deeper than that, the involvement of Sweet Baby Inc. in this game makes it impossible for me to support them. Here's the tweet from years ago where the company announced that they would be working on both Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine, and for cripe's sake, look at what Insomniac did with Spider-Man 2. First of all, they added pride flags all over the city. The game took Mary Jane from the first game, where she looked like this, and here she is in the second game. I'd guess that she got plastic surgery, but the point of such surgery is to make yourself not ugly.
Take this quarter. Go downtown and have a rat gnaw that thing off your face.
Anyhow, during the Sweet Baby Inc. controversy all over the internet last year, the game journalists were writing articles like this one, where they denied that Sweet Baby had any influence over that sort of thing in the game, never mind the fact that every game which Sweet Baby touches seems to be chock full of this sort of shit. Take Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League as an example, with Mrs. Freeze and her pride flag bullshit.
Gay, 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 gay.
Well, thanks to the excellent detective work of the folks from the channel Gothic Therapy, both master of the TDS and Writing Raven, but thanks to them, we now have some strong evidence that Sweet Baby does in fact do more than just consult and do sensitivity readings for the stories that they are involved with. One of their main lines of defense has been that they're claiming that they just make a few suggestions here and there for the games that they're working on, but now, in their own words, due to a lengthy interview from a few weeks back, which was just unearthed, featuring the CEO of Sweet Baby, we can see that they actually write for the games that they work on, as we have said for a long while, and this means we know what to expect from this upcoming Wolverine game. Insomniac is going to make Spider-Man 2 all over again. They've already got Mystique looking as grotesque as Mary Jane, so in response to all that, all I have to say to Insomniac is,
So long, gay boy!
Alright me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it already. We have just hit another subscriber milestone, so it is time to ask the following question.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow?
Yo! We now have 167,000 space pirate a-holes in our Buccaneer crew, and as is the custom on the channel, with every 1,000 subscribers, I add a new ship to the fleet in order to house the newcomers. This time, I was told I should add a Hyperion from StarCraft, and I agreed, so here it is. And if any of you have recommendations for ships to add to the fleet, drop them into the comment section, and I will add them to my long list. Just a reminder that when we hit 200,000 subscribers, we will be adding the Spaceball 1, which will be in the background by the enormous Death Star. And also, for your reference, I will be plugging in an alphabetical list of all the ships already in the fleet to the description of the video, but in any case, thanks for being here. I really appreciate you all.
I knew it, I'm surrounded by assholes.
Anyhow, let's get right to this news about Sweet Baby Inc. This write-up here comes from Writing Raven of the Gothic Therapy YouTube channel, and she is writing for Cabrutus Rambo's DEI Detected website. Anyhow, The article says, in August of 2025, Kim Belair, CEO and co-founder of Sweet Baby Inc., confirmed what many gamers had long suspected. In the hour-long interview, Belair inadvertently revealed several of the company's most revealing practices. Belair described Sweet Baby Inc.'s direct involvement in Spider-Man II over roughly 3 years, focusing on the storylines for Kraven and Harry Osborn, and said her team helped shape the narrative beats and character work for Alan Wake 2. Taken together, these remarks contradict the company's long-standing public stance that it serves only as a consulting firm. You see, they make it sound as if all they do are the sensitivity readings, and then they just make a few suggestions. And for reference though, Kim Belair, in this interview, said that they created the Harry Osborn storylines, which basically felt like they were shipping Harry Osborn and Peter Parker the whole damn time.
What are you two homos doing?
Anyhow, reading on, the article says next, they also suggest that Sweet Baby's influence extended well beyond advisory guidance into core narrative and creative decisions. Many observers interpreted this portion of the interview as a quiet admission that the studio played a far deeper role in shaping these games than it had previously acknowledged. Once again, keep in mind that these fluff pieces here from the likes of Kotaku were based around the idea that Sweet Baby didn't really do anything but make a few suggestions here and there. They did some sensitivity readings, made a few suggestions about how to appeal to progressive sensibilities, and that was it. Anyways, down here the article says, Belair also compared game development to a battlefield, describing creative collaboration as a series of wins and losses. Another notable moment came when she encouraged developers to fight for their baby, i.e. their own ideas, even when those ideas did not fit the broader story or mechanics of a game. What she did was rationalize personal or ideological self-insertion in collaborative projects, potentially disrupting narrative cohesion, and that's precisely the sort of problem that gamers have been fighting against for a while now. We don't want this progressive shit messaging shoved onto stories like a freaking alien appendage that just sits there and doesn't do anything useful. All it does is take you out of the story. It takes you out of the immersion and it ruins the experience, and gamers pay a premium these days for the video games that we play, so the last thing that we deserve is that kind of immersion-breaking nonsense. The last thing that I want is for some developer to be pounding their fist on the table and insist that some shit-lib idea of theirs needs to get put into a story, or else they're going to call everyone in the studio racist. That sort of thing is like a cancer for the rest of the creation, and it ultimately kills it for the gamer. But this next part of the recently unearthed interview was something I found very interesting. It says here, under the header of the ideological core, as the discussion turned to broader backlash, Belair framed criticism as hostility towards progress itself. When people fight against wokeness, what they're really doing is fighting against progressiveness, and in a way, fighting against themselves. So, to be clear, first of all, these people have spent the past year, the game journalists, Sweet Baby, and all of their allies, all of these people have spent the past year trying to convince gamers that wokeness is all in our heads, and it doesn't really exist. And yet, here this bozo has made it apparent that Sweet Baby deserves to be associated with it. In fact, not even just deserves, she is making it very obvious that wokeness is what they are doing. Wokeness is the tool that they use to build their games. But what really amuses me is that in this quote, she has defined herself and her allies as the good guys. And if you fight against her, then gosh darn it, don't you know you're fighting against the good guys? That tells us everything that we need to know about the stunted mentality of these jackasses. This is precisely the sort of word game crap that these people play with Antifa. Well, we say that we're anti-fascist, and if you oppose us, then that must mean you're a fascist. I mean, it's in the name, dude. Checkmate, bro. But these sorts of word games do not work on a lot of us. Sweet Baby Inc. and the so-called progressive shit that they ham-fistedly shove into games is just ass-backwards thinking where they go out of their way to focus on immutable characteristics rather than tell a coherent story. And with that in mind, I know exactly what to expect now from the Wolverine game coming out. There is a reason that the early character models that we saw for Jean Grey looked like this. Now, it's possible that they fixed her so that the character no longer looks like Swamp Thing, but at least at one point, this game's playbook was the same as Spider-Man 2, and I simply refuse to support this stuff. And keep in mind that the recent trailer that was released for Wolverine neglected to show us Jean Grey at all, despite the fact that she is likely a pretty important character in the narrative. Rumor has it that there are Jean Grey missions where you have to use her similar to the Mary Jane missions in Spider-Man. My guess is, though, that they want to avoid the backlash as much as possible, so they avoided showing Jean in this first trailer. But as I said, I refuse to support this game out of principle. Sure, the game is going to sell a lot of copies, I don't doubt that. Wolverine is an extremely popular character, but they will sell at least one less copy due to the directions that Insomniac has taken with Sweet Baby Inc. Even if they remove 99% of the shit that Sweet Baby threw in there, I will not support such a game. But I'm gonna leave it there. Drop your contempt for Insomniac and Sweet Baby into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.